Hey everybody, this is Dr. David Jockers, and today we're talking about the best foods to eat on a ketogenic diet. And a ketogenic diet is one of the most powerful ways to reduce inflammation in your body, to help you burn fat, to help improve your brain function, and overall to help reduce your risk of chronic disease. So we'll talk about the best foods to eat to be on this sort of a nutrition plan. So let's get started. A little bit about myself. If you don't know me, my name is Dr. David Jockers. I am a doctor of natural medicine. I speak all around the country at churches, organizations. I'm also in a lot of online events. You can see here the gut brain. I talked about a lot about the gut brain. I talk a lot about just brain health, energy health, the ketogenic diet, and that's really where my specialty is. And we're going to dive into that in a lot more detail today. This is my beautiful wife, my baby boys, David and Joshua, right there, the pride of my life. And let's jump into why somebody would want to follow a ketogenic diet. Well, we talked about how powerful it is at down-regulating inflammation in the body. We know inflammation is the underlying root marker that we find in all degenerative disease. So we're talking about Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's disease, cancer, heart disease, diabetes. All of these things are linked to inflammation, arthritis, autoimmune disease. All of it's related to inflammation. So a ketogenic diet is one of the most powerful ways to reduce that inflammation and help our body heal naturally. It also is great for weight loss and fat burning. It's also amazing for our brain. So ketones are an alternative fuel source that our brain can use, and they have an incredible effect at helping us with mental clarity, sharpness, as well as cognitive acceleration, or the ability to think sharply and quickly. Abundant energy. One thing you'll notice on a ketogenic diet is you just have great energy. You don't have cravings. Your skin, because you've reduced inflammation, your skin clears up and heals. We help to upregulate and strengthen our mitochondria, which are really our little factories within every cell of the body. And so we actually have this amazing concept called mitochondrial biogenesis, really the formation of new mitochondria, which means the cell can produce more energy. In a ketogenic diet is an amazing approach to helping cells produce more energy. And that's incredible. It has great anti-aging effects and helps reduce our risk of chronic diseases. So how does this work? Well, typically, most Americans or most people really are consuming grains like bread and other things that are high in carbohydrates. And those carbohydrates break down into glucose, which is circulating sugar. When that happens, our body creates this hormone called insulin, which takes the sugar and puts it into the cells where our body uses it for energy. Now, in a ketogenic diet, we have a high, good fat diet, moderate protein, low carbohydrate diet. So with that, our blood sugar naturally goes down rather than up. And so what happens, our body starts breaking down these fatty acids, and we upregulate different enzymes like lipase to break down these fats, which then in our liver basically converts those into ketones, and our body can use those ketones. And we have several different types of ketones. We have something called acetate, which can be measured when we urine. We can do a urine strip to measure that. We have beta hydroxybutyrate, which can be measured in our bloodstream. And we have acetoacetate, which can be measured with our breath through something called a ketonics breath meter, ketone breath meter. So we can measure these, but all of these ketones are amazing for cellular energy production, and they're an alternative fuel source to the sugar. So what are three steps, really three big steps to get started with a ketogenic diet? Number one, we got to get rid of the sugars and grains. Remember, it's a low carb diet. And then we want to get rid of bad fats. That's going to be things like vegetable oils, corn oil, soybean oil, safflower oil, peanut oil, cottonseed oil. Get rid of that stuff. Hydrogenated oils, margarines, get rid of that. Add in more good fats. You can see the picture of avocados, and we'll go into more good fats, of course, in this presentation. We also want to change the meat that we eat. We want to get rid of grain-fed, conventionally raised meat, and instead we want to stick with grass-fed, organic, pasture-raised animal products. So here's what it looks like on a food pyramid. You can see right here at the very bottom, this is where we want to get the majority of our calories. And you can see things like avocados, coconut oil, and coconut products like coconut butter, coconut flakes, different things like that, all really good for the body. Grass-fed butter, amazing for the body. pasture-raised eggs. So this is going to be the foundation. So we're going to get the majority of our calories. We can also throw things like olives and olive oil in there, which are both amazing for the body. Right above that, we've got antioxidants. So that's going to be things like lemons and limes, berries, and particularly non-starchy vegetables. So that would be things like cucumbers, broccoli, kale, asparagus, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, cabbage. Those are all non-starchy. They don't break down into glucose, whereas things like carrots and beets and sweet potatoes all do. So we want to minimize those, and we want to consume a lot of these non-starchy vegetables. We also want herbs. And so things like basil, oregano, thyme, rosemary, ginger, turmeric. We really want our meal to have a great aroma and have those aromatic qualities. And actually, if we're able to smell this amazing aroma of our meal from the next room, that's going to help kickstart the digestive juices and help us to digest our meal more effectively, which is very important on a ketogenic diet. Clean protein right above that. So we talked about that. Grass-fed, wild-caught fish, organic, pasture-raised poultry. That's all really good. Right above that, we've got nuts and seeds. So you can see things right in there. Flaxseed, hemp seed, pumpkin seeds, macadamia nuts, almonds, pecans, different things like that. All really amazing for the body. And then right above that, we've got fermented foods. So it's going to be things like sauerkraut, kimchi, pickles. These are awesome, really great parts of a ketogenic diet because we want a nutrient-dense ketogenic diet. We want to get a lot of nutrients, but just not the sugar, not the glucose. That's the key. So natural sweeteners. What are sugar-free sweeteners? The best ones are stevia and monk fruit or lohan extract. Monk fruit is also called lohan extract. Those are really the best ones. Some people do well with erythritol and xylitol, whereas other people can have digestive disturbances with those. And here are some of the, at the bottom of here, you can see some of the great recipes you can make on a ketogenic diet. This is a vanilla coconut milk ice cream, and it really does look like this when you do it right. And it's very simple to make. It only takes a few ingredients, and it tastes absolutely amazing, and it's fat burning and ketogenic. Right next to that, we've got our chocolate coconut cups, which again, fat burning, ketogenic, amazing for the body. So fats and oils, what are the best ones to use? Well, we're looking at saturated fats, which we've been told are bad, but actually they're really good. The right saturated fats that we want to be using, and particularly these are the only ones that we want to cook with, are going to be things like coconut oil, MCT oil, palm oil, okay, all of those, butter, ghee, tallow, schmaltz, which is a chicken fat, lamb fat, duck fat, grass-fed dairy, eggs, meat, and seafood can all have some saturated fat in it. Whereas the unsaturated fat we want to use in a more of a cold variety. We don't want to cook that, okay? So that's going to be olive oil, olives, avocados, or avocado oil, different types of nuts and seed oils. We would never want to cook those because they are polyunsaturated oils, and that will combust and create a trans fat if we cook with it. So we don't want to do that. And what do we get rid of? We already talked about all these toxic vegetable oils as well as margarine hydrogenated oils. We want to get rid of those things, okay? So these are the fats. These are going to be the primary components where you're getting most of your calories on a ketogenic diet. So avocados, one of my favorites. Personally, I consume 1 to 2 avocados a day. I love avocados. One of the most nutrient-dense foods for your body. They've got tons of B vitamins, potassium. They have the right ratio of potassium to sodium. And, a lot of people will say, what about bananas? Like, I need my potassium. Well, avocados have a lot more potassium. They have twice the amount of potassium as a banana. So avocados are a lot better. Really, really good for helping our body to absorb fat-soluble nutrients. So they've got a lot of lutein, zeaxanthin, alpha and beta carotene. So all these are carotenoid antioxidants in that vitamin A family that play a key role with good skin health as well as good vision and good brain health. So really, really powerful stuff. There's also a very small amount of a healthy type of sugar within avocado that actually helps stimulate collagen production for healthy joints and healthy skin. Now, a lot of people will think, well, avocados, when I look at it, it's got like 9 grams of carbs or 10 grams of carbs. But the reality is most of that is fiber. And that's key when you're on a ketogenic diet you want to look at net carbs. And what that means is you look at the total carbohydrate content and then you subtract the fiber, and that comes out to net carbs. So avocado is very low in net carbs, and the kind of net carbs they have are not net carbs that break down easily into glucose. Instead, they actually help stimulate collagen production. So avocados are amazing. Definitely something you want to be using on a regular basis on a ketogenic diet. Should be one of your staple foods. Grass-fed butter. Grass-fed butter, believe it or not, may be the most nutrient-dense thing you can put in your body. And a lot of people are thinking, what? I heard butter was bad for you. Doesn't it clog your arteries? Well, that's actually not true. Now, we do want to avoid grain-fed butter because when the animal is grain-fed, it's going to have a lot of omega-6 fats, which will cause inflammation. When the animal's grass-fed, we get a lot more omega-3 fats, which are anti-inflammatory and healthy for the body. We also get somewhere between 3 to 5 times the amount of conjugated linoleic acid when the cow is grass-fed. CLA is one of the best things for helping our body to burn fat. It's also very anti-carcinogenic, so amazing for the body. Definitely something we want to be consuming is this grass-fed butter. Also very rich in butyrate, which is really what our gut microbiome, the bacterial cells within our gut, will break down when they consume fiber. They produce butyrate, which is a preferred fuel for the large intestine cells. It also helps reduce inflammation throughout the body, in particular in the blood cells, the endothelial layer of the blood cells. And so the idea that butter, grass-fed butter, would be bad for our heart is absolutely untrue. In fact, it may be one of the best things for our cardiovascular system. It also contains vitamin A, the fat-soluble version of vitamin A. So this is powerful because that fat-soluble retinol is key for our vision, for our thyroid, adrenals, cardiovascular system. So really good. It also has a combination of vitamin D and K2. Now, you're not going to get enough vitamin D from the butter to really support your full needs. The sun or a supplement will be very helpful. However, it does have it, and it also has vitamin K2, which many people are deficient in. And K2 is critical for basically helping to take calcium out of the bloodstream and into the bones. That's important because when we look at a arterial plaque, for example, the majority of that plaque is actually calcium. So if we got the right amount of vitamin D, K2, and magnesium, it helps to pull the calcium out of the bloodstream and into the bones where it belongs. So very good for bone health and cardiovascular health there. Omega-3 fats are key for brain. And we also have other benefits like lecithin, which is key for basically the outer membrane of every cell of the body. We've got trace minerals like selenium, magnesium, zinc, copper, iodine. So really, really powerful nutrient-dense food is our grass-fed butter. Also, egg yolk. Egg yolk is very similar nutrient-wise as grass-fed butter. The only thing it adds to it is some protein. So it can be really, really good. It's got vitamin K2. It's got lutein, zeaxanthin, retinol in there. It's got phosphatidylcholine, which is really important for the brain. So egg yolk can be one of the most amazing things you put in your body as well. So consuming pasture-raised eggs is the key, and you can see the picture there with the grass. You want chickens that are ranging, eating insects, eating grass, eating weeds. That's really what a healthy chicken does. And so we want that pasture-raised chicken rather than a industrialized chicken that's consuming grain feed all day long. It's not going to have the nutrients. So definitely make sure you're getting the right type of eggs. Also, coconut oil and coconut products. And coconut, not only is it amazing for helping stimulate ketones, but on top of that, it's also antimicrobial, helps to kill off yeast, helps to support whole body health, stimulate the thyroid for good metabolism, reduce inflammation in the body. So I like coconut oil, coconut butter, coconut flakes, coconut milk. All of those things are really, really good for the body. And you can also get the benefits by putting it on your skin. Not only is it good for your skin, but also it will cross in. Some of the nutrients will actually get into your bloodstream transdermally. So through the skin, you'll get some of the nutrients that way as well. How about coconut milk yogurt? Well, this is a fermented coconut milk. And so you've got good bacteria in there, which are great for the body, great for the microbiome. And you've got the benefits of the coconut fats, which help your body, again, turn into ketones. Obviously, really, really quickly, coconut milk, coconut oil are quick. Well, I should say they're medium ketone creators. What's real quick would be something like MCT oil, okay, or medium chain triglyceride oils. So within coconut, you have about 15% MCTs. So you do have that. And what they do to make an MCT oil, or my favorite, XCT oil, is they actually process and concentrate the 15% that's in the coconut oil. So the kind we use is made from coconuts, but it's processed to where the types of fats that produce ketones quickly are concentrated. And that means that you're going to get an immediate energy burst. You're going to be able to have these ketones quickly. And that's key. And I always like to use the XCT oil in combination with other fats that are more slow ketone creators. So I might put it in a shake with avocado and coconut oil. And so XCT is a quick ketone creator. Coconut oil is a medium ketone creator, and avocado would be a slower ketone creator. But it will keep the ketones up in my system longer. So if you think about that, we get the best of all things with that. So also, if I'm having a salad, I'll use XCT oil as a salad dressing, but I'll make sure I have avocado or olives in the salad. And that's another great strategy to use. You can also cook with XCT oil, especially meat cooks well. You can cook vegetables with it. So it's something I use on a regular basis to help really get myself into ketosis faster and help myself stay in ketosis using XCT oil along with these other good fats. Coconut flour. So a lot of the recipes that I have on drjockers.com, as well as in my Navigating the Ketogenic Diet program, are using coconut flour. Coconut flour is awesome. You can make so many things with it, but there is an art to using it properly. And you can see the ratios here. So 1 cup of, like, let's say it was calling for normal wheat. If you were making muffins, you'd replace that. Instead of 1 cup, you'd use 1/3 a cup of coconut flour. Why? Because it's very drying. And so we want to use a lot of liquid. We got to increase our eggs. So 1 egg per ounce of flour. And basically 1/3 of a cup is about 1 1/3 ounces. So roughly an egg per 1/3 of a cup. And then you also want to increase the liquids, add more water or coconut milk. Typically you need about 1/2 cup more per 1/3 cup of coconut flour. So you're going to need to increase that. You're going to need to increase the eggs. And that's really the important thing. So you may see a recipe that doesn't seem like it calls for a lot of flour, a lot of this coconut flour, and it seems like it calls for a lot of eggs and liquid. But the reality is that's important because coconut flour, again, is so drying. So you got to really be patient. And obviously this slide gives you a lot of instruction for what to do and how to use it. Okay, and so some people, for example, are egg intolerant. They have a food sensitivity to eggs. So what do you do then? You can use flax seeds, soaked flax seeds. 1 tablespoon soaked in 3 tablespoons water is equivalent to 1 egg. So we'll have that sort of an effect as an egg. So that's another great strategy to be using. And just be careful with the amount of liquid. You know, as you're putting in extra liquid, you don't want it to be too fluid, right? So just kind of eyeball it as you're doing it, and that will really, really help. So dark chocolate, everybody's favorite. And we know dark chocolate's super rich in a ton of different nutrients, particularly polyphenol antioxidants, as well as trace minerals, very rich in magnesium. Really good for the body. It also has PEAs, which helps stimulate endorphins and helps stimulate neurotransmitter production. That's one of the reasons why I feel so good when we consume chocolate, is because it raises up these PEAs. It also helps raise up dopamine and serotonin, which just make us feel really, really good. It also is very rich in something called epigalactic catechin, which is the same polyphenol antioxidant we find in green tea. And so very rich in that. Really good for blood sugar stability. The key is, of course, getting dark chocolate without sugar, without added sugar, is very important. And the raw cacao, that's actually the most nutrient-dense form of chocolate, would be the raw chocolate, the raw cacao. So dark chocolate, a little bit on a regular basis, can be really, really helpful for really for boosting brain function. It's also got theobromide in it, which is in the same family as caffeine. So it helps bring blood flow and energy up to your brain, helps stimulate neurotransmitters, really helps you feel good. So dark chocolate, you can enjoy that in moderation. You don't want to overdo it or it will overexcite your system, which can be a problem. Okay, carminative herbs. I talked about really using a lot of herbs. Carminatives are any sort of herb that just helps promote healthy digestion. And how does it do that? Basically, it just helps your body secrete digestive juices like stomach acid, bile, pancreatic enzymes. So you get just a more full digestive process. So you're able to break down the food particles and absorb the nutrients more effectively. It's also very important for peristalsis, or the natural muscle movement of the small and large intestine. So what are some examples of carminatives? Well, things like cinnamon, ginger, basil, oregano, thyme, rosemary, fennel, turmeric. These things are all great for your body, really, really good for health, and definitely things you want to be using a lot on a ketogenic diet. You know, one big knock against ketogenic diet is the idea that it doesn't provide enough antioxidants. Well, if you use enough herbs, which don't have sugar, you're going to get tons of antioxidants. You're also going to really improve your gut. And that's another complaint. A lot of times people will get constipated when they're on a ketogenic diet. Using these carminatives will really, really help that process and help with good bowel movements. Okay, lemon water. Lemon is rich in vitamin C as well as bioflavonoids, which we call vitamin P, and potassium. That combination is really good for helping to dilate capillary beds, which brings more oxygen into the deep tissues of the body. Oxygen, the better we're oxygenating, the better we're going to be able to produce and utilize ketones. So doing lemon or lime water, very important for that. Also very anti-aging for our body. So very good for the immune system. Doing lemon or lime water, absolutely excellent for the body. Fresh squeezed is best, but you can also do an organic lemon juice and put that in your water as well and get great benefits. How about your greens? Getting good, high-quality green leafy vegetables into your diet should be foundational. We want to be really looking to get these ones, which are extremely low carb. You have things like arugula, which is a bitter herb, very, very good for the liver. Another example of bitter herb would be mustard greens. Again, really good for the liver. Dandelion is another great one. Parsley, these things are all fantastic. You can also see some other ones on there. Collard greens, spinach, romaine lettuce, Swiss chard, turnip greens. These things are all great for the body. Kale, of course, right? These are all just amazing for the body. We want to be getting those in on a regular basis. Getting those dark green leafies, a great way to get more high quality nutrients into our body without the extra sugar. So very, very powerful. I mean, look at this right here, Swiss chard, 1 calorie per cup. 1 calorie per cup of Swiss chard. I mean, that's like nothing. So using that on a regular basis can be really, really helpful for the body. Okay, 6 benefits of sprouts. Sprouts are another key area that I like to include in my ketogenic diet. So doing particularly broccoli, radish, or kale sprouts, they're richest in what we call glycosinolates, which are very, very important for detoxifying the body, getting rid of bad estrogens. They're also very antimicrobial, and they help prevent cancer. In fact, there's supplements. We have one called Estro Protect, which is a concentrated form of these glycosinolates, and it's very key for down-regulating bad estrogens and helping with estrogen to progesterone balance. So getting sprouts into your diet on a regular basis can be a very powerful way to heal your body naturally, and there's low to no carbs in these things, so it makes it a really, really, really an easy win-win on a ketogenic diet. Some other good sprouts would be things like mung bean sprouts, which are good. They're still low carb, and alfalfa sprouts too. Okay, sea vegetables. So I love algae like chlorella and spirulina, which are both really, really good for helping detoxify and purify the blood. We also have things like wakame, dulse, nori, and kelp, which are very rich in iodine and really all the trace minerals. Sea vegetable is very close in nature to, in a sense, to our bloodstream. And so it's got all the right minerals for healthy circulation, for healthy thyroid and glandular function. Very, very good for our body. So consuming these regularly is amazing. One way I like to do it is through something called sea snacks, which is a great little snack that's basically sea vegetable with olive oil and sea salt. And it's very simple and easy. You just roll them up and you consume them. They taste amazing. Even my twin boys absolutely love them. And who would think that 1-year-olds would really enjoy sea vegetables, seaweed? But they do. They love it. And that's because it tastes amazing. Another great way is through an herb mix. There's a Bragg Sea Kelp Delight that is great, which is a group of herbs, including kelp, which is extremely rich in iodine and all the things we talked about, these trace minerals, and you can put that on your food. Or you can use something called Herba Mare, which also has kelp in it. So both are great, and I use both of those. They're fantastic for the body. How about coffee? You know, coffee is the #1 antioxidant that people consume in westernized countries. So coffee is very rich in caffeic and capric acid, which are both very, very good for reducing blood sugar and helping stabilize blood sugar. So utilizing coffee and using it appropriately can be really healthy for the body. You want to make sure you're getting organic coffee. In fact, you can do things like bulletproof coffee, which is a great form of coffee, and you can put grass-fed butter in there, MCT oil, and really create a great fat-burning ketogenic coffee that's awesome for the body. So you can do that. Now with coffee, you don't want to overconsume it. Do 1 to 2 cups daily, but not more than that, or you risk burning out your adrenals and causing problems with your blood sugar. So just be careful with that. Bone broth, another amazing thing to be consuming. Bone broth is so rich in minerals as well as healthy sodium. And a lot of people are concerned with sodium, but you know, when you're on a high carb diet, like most people in westernized countries are, then your body retains sodium. So if you're on a high carb diet, then you would want to reduce sodium. But if you're on a low carb ketogenic style diet, you actually want more sodium because your body's going to excrete it. So bone broth is a great way to do that. You can also just get organic chicken broth, free-range chicken broth that's more of a meat broth. But I will tell you, the bone broth has a lot more nutrients. It has things like glucosamine, chondroitin, as well as the key amino acids like glycine and proline that are very important for healing the gut. They're also great for the joints, the hair, the skin. So really, really good for the body. You can see all the benefits right here. So consuming bone broth on a daily basis, whether you make your own or you purchase this, can be so healing and beneficial for the body. And if you can't do that, or if you want to add in more of these key amino acids that we find in bone broth, I'd recommend doing one of our bone broth protein powders. These taste amazing, particularly the chocolate, the coffee, the vanilla, and the banana cream. They taste awesome. The turmeric and the pure don't, but you can put them in. They're pretty much tasteless. And of course, the combination of turmeric with bone broth is amazing for the body. So these are all ketogenic, very low carb. They taste great, flavored with monk fruit and stevia. And they provide a great amino acid complex. You know, most people have been consuming a lot of muscle meats, which are very high in methionine and tryptophan, and they're not consuming enough glycine and proline because they're not consuming the organ meats as well as the bones and doing bone broth. So consuming a bone broth protein powder can really help balance out your body's natural amino acid ratios, which will reduce inflammation and improve tissue healing in your body. You think about a lot of athletes these days getting all kinds of tissue injuries and Tommy John surgeries. And you know, if they had the right amino acid complex, I would be willing to bet we would significantly reduce the overall amount of injuries because those tissues would be stronger and tougher. And so that's why I'm a huge fan of this bone broth protein, which really helps do that, provide these kind of amino acids for balanced ratios in a very tasty and healthy manner. Now, if hopefully you got a lot out of today's presentation, we talked a lot about these key foods. And again, we're applying all these things so we can really get into and stay into ketosis or cycle out from time to time, but really have the ability to get back into this state of ketosis to help our body to burn fat and to build lean body tissue. You know, you can take on your optimal physique in a state of ketosis or cyclical ketosis. It also is going to be amazing for your mental focus, your concentration, your productivity. It will help improve your blood sugar stability. I see people reverse things like diabetes all the time following a nutrition plan like this. It's also very powerful for reducing inflammation and pain or painful conditions in your body. And of course, reduces your risk of chronic disease. We're talking Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's disease, heart disease, cancer, autoimmune disease. All the risk goes down significantly when we're able to successfully follow a ketogenic healing style diet like we're talking about here. So hopefully you're doing that already. And if you're not, I'd like to invite you to follow my Navigating the Ketogenic Diet e-course, which gives you really everything you need: a recipe book, a quick start guide, a snack guide, a meal plan, and manual, tons of video trainings where I'm talking about a lot of different topics related to the ketogenic diet, how to navigate challenging parts. I'm also giving you video recipes. So recipes of me in my kitchen making a number of different food recipes that are based on the ketogenic diet. They're all in the actual recipe book. So you'll get a chance to see that as well. And really, I get tons and tons of accolades about this course. We've had close to 700 people now purchase this course and utilize it. And, I know that if you do get it, that you will really be blessed. The course is only $97. $97. That's it. Gives you everything that you need. And we do have a 30-day money back guarantee. So for whatever reason, if you're not satisfied in 30 days, go ahead and ask us for your money back and we'll be happy to refund you. But obviously we hope that you get the full value out of it. You love this program. And it really helps you to accomplish your health goals. So you can find this on our website, drjockers.com. Right, you'll see the programs header. You'll see all 6 of our online programs, and you'll just find the ketogenic diet course in there. So hopefully you guys got a lot out of today's presentation. God bless you guys, and we will see you on a future training.